Good morning. Hey, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night time, midnight hour, whatever time. Like I said, whenever you're tuning in with me. My name is Tamika Collins, and this here is my YouTube page. And on these episodes, we are reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, y'all, and we are in Numbers, the 33rd chapter. We got 3 chapters left in this beautiful, wonderful book, okay? We recap, so let's recap. Chapter 31 talked about God telling them to go in and conquer Midian for the adultery and leading many astray. They let the women live, and Moses was angry because the women were the ones enticing, the fellas to sin and come to worship their gods. So Moses told them again to kill all the women whom are not virgins, and the boys. They also divided what was conquered and shared amongst each other. Chapter 32 talked of their transition of going in to fight and be in the promised land. But the tribe of Gad and Reuben wanted to take a piece of the land outside of the promised Canaan for their wives, children, and livestock. They made a pact they would do what they were supposed to for the Lord, and if they do, then they could have the land for themselves. So now we are in chapter 33. So we're going to see if they do what they were supposed to do. Not only that, but we're going to see what happened to everything else. This always look like y'all just in my nostrils here. Let's go. Let's get to it. So chapter 33 in Numbers says, it's talking about the camp on the plains of Moab, remembering Israel's journey. This is the route the Israelites followed as they marched out of Egypt under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. At the Lord's direction, Moses kept a written record of their progress. These are the stages their march, identified by the different places where they stopped along the way. They set out for the city of Ramses in early spring on the 15th day of the first month, on the morning after the first Passover celebration. The people of Israel left defiantly in full view of all the Egyptians. Meanwhile, the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn sons whom the Lord had killed the night before. The Lord had defeated the gods of Egypt that night with great acts of judgment. After leaving Ramses, the Israelites set up camp at Succoth. Then they left Succoth and camped to Etham on the edge of the wilderness. They left Etham and turned back toward Pi Hariroth, opposite Baal Zephon, and camped near Migdol. They left Pi Hariroth and crossed the Red Sea into the wilderness beyond. Then they traveled for 3 days into the Etham wilderness and camped at Marah. They left Marah and camped at Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They left Elim and camped beside the Red Sea. They left the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. They left the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophka. They left Dophka and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They left Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. They left the wilderness of Sinai and camped in Kibroth Hattava. They left Kibroth Hattava and camped at Hazeroth. They left Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. They left Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. They left Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. They left Libnah and camped at Risa. They left Risa and camped at Kehelatha. They left Kehelatha and camped at Mount Shapher. They left Mount Shapher and camped at Harada. They left Harada and camped at Mechaloth. They left Mechaloth and camped at Tahath. They left Tahath and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Methka. They left Methka and camped at Hashmanah. They left Hashmanah and camped at Moserath. They left Moserath and camped at Ben Jakan. They left Ben Hakan or Beni Hakan and camped at Hor Haggidgad. They left Hor Haggidgad and camped at Jotbatha. They left Jotbatha and camped at Abrona. They left Abrona and camped at Ezion Geber. They left Ezion Geber and camped at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor at the border of Edom. While they were at the foot of Mount Hor, Aaron the priest was directed by the Lord to go up the mountain, and there he died. This happened in midsummer on the first day of the 5th month of the 40th year that Israel's departure from Egypt. Aaron was 123 years old when he died there on Mount Hor. At the time, the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in Negev in the land of Canaan, heard that the people of Israel were approaching his land. Meanwhile, the Israelites left Mount Hor and camped at Zalmanah. Then they left Zalmanah and camped at Punan. Then they left Punan and camped at Abath. They left Abath and camped at Abarim on the border of Moab. They left Abarim and camped at Dibon-Gad. They left Dibon-Gad and camped at Almon-Diblatham. They left Almon-Diblatham and camped in the mountains east of the river, near Mount Nebo. They left the mountains east of the river and camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River, across from Jericho. Along the Jordan River, they camped from Beth Jeshimoth as far as the meadows of Achiah on the plains of Moab. While they were camped near the Jordan River on the plains of Moab opposite Jericho, the Lord said to Moses to give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you cross the Jordan River into the land of Canaan, you must drive out all the people living there. You must destroy all their carved and molten images and demolish all their pagan shrines. Take possession of the land and settle in it, because I have given it to you to occupy. You must distribute the land among the clans by sacred lot and in proportion to their size. A larger portion of the land will be allotted to each of the larger clans, and a smaller portion will be allotted to each of the smaller clans. The decision of the sacred lots is final. In this way, the portions of the lands will be divided among your ancestral tribes. But if you fail to drive out all the people who live in the land, those who remain will be like splinters in your eyes and thorns in your sides. They will harass you in the land where you live, and I will do to you what I plan to do to them. Ooh. Let's see if we can do 34. Boundaries of the land. Then the Lord said to Moses, give these instructions to Israelites when you come into the land of Canaan, which I am giving you as a special possession. These will be the boundaries. The southern portion of your country will extend from the wilderness of Zin along the edge of Edom. The southern boundary will begin on the east at the Dead Sea. It will then run south past Scorpion Pass in the direction of Zin. It's the southernmost point of Kadesh Barnea, from which it will go to Hazard, Hazar Adar, and on to Asman. From Asman, the boundary will turn toward the brook of Egypt and end at the Mediterranean Sea. Your western boundary will be the coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. Your northern boundary will begin at the Mediterranean Sea and run east to Mount Hor, then to Lebo Hamath, and on through Zedad and Zephron and Hazar Enan, which will be your northern boundary. The eastern boundary will start at Hazar Enan and run south to Shepham, then down to Reblah on the east side of Ain. From there, the boundary will run down toward the eastern edge of the Sea of Galilee and then along the Jordan River to the Dead Sea. These are the boundaries of your land. Then Moses told the Israelites, "This territory is the homeland you are to divide among yourselves by sacred lot. The Lord has commanded that the land be divided among the 9.5 remaining tribes, the families of the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh have already received their grants of land on the east side of the Jordan River across from Jericho toward the sunrise." And the Lord said to Moses, "Eleazar the priest and Joshua, son of Nun, are the men designated to divide the grants of land among the people. Enlist one leader from each tribe to help them with the task. These are the tribes and the names of the leaders." Oh, here we go again. Judah, Caleb, son of Zephuneh, will be the leader. For Simeon, Shemuel, son of Amihud, will be the leader. Benjamin, Elidad, son of Kelson. Dan, Buki, son of Jogli. Manasseh, son of Joseph, will be Haniel, son of Ephod. Ephraim, son of Joseph, will be Kemuel, son of Shiptan. Zebulun will be Elizaphan, son of Parnak. Issachar will be Paltiel, son of Azan. Asher will be Ahidud, son of Shalomi. Naphtali will be Padiel, son of Amihud. These are the men of the Lord These are the men the Lord has appointed to divide the grants of land to Canaan among the Israelites. Y'all, them names and cities and things countries and things is something else. I thought people think our names are something else, but woo, my Lord. Anywho, I hope you have enjoyed your reading for today. We are going to be in chapter 35 on our next one. And we're going to finish up with chapter 36. And then we will be moving on to the Deuteronomy. Okay? Deuteronomy. As I always say, I hope you all have a great morning. I hope you all have a great afternoon, evening, nighttime, midnight hour. And have a good day. And just remember that the Lord loves you. And I do too. Talk to you later. Peace.